Nice. Yeah, saw me get a little panicked earlier because the slide the presentation was out of whack, and I'm kind of a stickler for design. But again, I want to thank you guys for being here, relishing the opportunity to be here. I'm gonna let you get seated. Good evening, no problem. All right. I see Tia, hi. So Tia was in the, was it Entrepreneur for a Day program this week, and she came to Thoughtful's office. Thoughtful is as they shared in my bio, a digital marketing agency that I co-founded with my partner, Gino Webster. So Gino is here. And Tia had the opportunity on a Monday, which is always a very busy day for us. She had the opportunity to spend some time with us in the office. She didn't get to come in all the meetings, but she had the opportunity to see how we structure out our week. And that was, it was good. I thought it was nice having her there. It was different for sure. So the topic today is creating and sustaining an enabling future. Neil, did you come up with this topic? Okay, Mr. Hodge came up with the topic. So I thought about it for a while, and I said, well, what can I talk about here, right? And what I'll say is that, as an entrepreneur, so I've been in business with Thoughtful since 2013 when I moved back to Anguilla after university. But I started my first business when I was 18, when I was y'all's age, and it failed miserably, right? But all of those are learning experiences. But I would say that being an entrepreneur starts with you. And so I like the topic because I feel like everybody that decides to be an entrepreneur, says they want to be an entrepreneur, it's really because you want to control your own outcome, right? And that's not to say that when you work in a traditional organization, you don't have the power to control your outcomes. Of course, you can get raises and promotions and what's not. But I personally chose to be an entrepreneur because I like the idea of whatever I put in is what I'm going to get out. So most entrepreneurs feel that. You're nodding your head. You want to be an entrepreneur? Something so? You have to affirm it. You have to say, yeah, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, right? But what I wanted to do my presentation a bit different and kind of share with you guys like some preparation, just some experiences that I've had in terms of 6 challenges every Caribbean entrepreneur faces. And this is actually a presentation of a carousel that I put out on Instagram early up in October, and it got a lot of hits. I got a lot of feedback from it regionally. I put it out regionally. I got a lot of feedback. And it's not just Anguilla, and I think that's important because sometimes here in Anguilla we feel like we're the only one that's going through it. But everyone in the region is experiencing, and in developing regions like ours or developing countries like ours, they're experiencing much of the same challenges. So I wanted to share this with you guys, and though I know I have 10 minutes, so I'll try to keep it as tight as possible, share some of my stories or some of my own personal experiences that kind of align with some of the challenges. And I think this is important because it will help you to just kind of prepare you, and nothing will prepare you for when it hits, but at least you'll be cognizant of the fact that it means you'll be aware of the fact that, something like this might come up, right? Is that okay? Yeah? Y'all are gonna listen? You're not gonna kind of tune me out? All right, cool. So I think it's important to start by saying, slide 1, Mr. Gums. Slide 2, sorry. Nope. Right before that. Okay, nope. See, this is why I want to be an entrepreneur, because I want to be able to control what happens up here. No, I'm depending on Neil, but that's okay. So changing the game as an island innovator is a challenge. That's the starting point, yeah? It's a challenge. Nothing about it is easy. Being an entrepreneur is not like, a lot of people think, being an entrepreneur means I get to wake up whenever I want, set my own time, do whatever I want. It's the complete opposite of that. Is like you are a slave to your business for the most part, right? If you want it to succeed, you actually have to be in it. And the freedom that you think that you're going to get, it doesn't come immediately, right? So there's a level of freedom. So I can do my business from anywhere in the world. Like I can go to Paris tomorrow and run my business. But for the most part, it's going to be a challenge, right? So just to understand that. Next slide, please, Master. So one of the first challenges I'll say you'll face as a Caribbean entrepreneur is that the market is comfortable with the status quo. How many of you guys know what the status quo means? So if I say any word that you don't understand, like don't be ashamed to say it, like I don't know what that means. How many of you guys, how many of you guys understand the market is comfortable with the status quo? What does that mean? Show of hands. Nobody? Right, they're comfortable with how things are. Avern said it. They're comfortable with just, look, this is how we've been doing it. We've been doing it this way since 67, and this is how it's going to remain. And everybody doesn't feel that way, right? So I won't say that everybody doesn't feel that way, but a lot of people feel that way. And if you're an entrepreneur and you have a new idea, sometimes it's difficult to get it across, and sometimes it's difficult to keep pushing because people are just not very receptive. How many of you guys have ever had an idea and maybe you shared it with somebody and they be like, "Why the hell work in Anguilla?" Yeah? What was your idea? Just give me one. Okay, all right. Anybody else had an idea that, what's that? Okay, anybody else had an idea that someone just told them, like, that's not going to work here? Anybody? Yeah, tell me. Boy, let me tell you, I'd be in that a paintball arena, that would definitely work. I will be there. I'd be one of your first customers, right? But how many of you guys will go to a paintball arena? See? So a lot of times hold on guys, I know it's students, right? So I know that, okay. All right, so I know that, again, you may have that idea and somebody might say, boy, that isn't gonna work. But the reality is you still have to push on it because you don't know until you know. And of course you have to do the market research and all of this, and you have the assessments, and you have to put together, as Clembia shared, your business plan and get funding. We'll get into some of that. But don't ever let someone being comfortable with how things are right now, don't let someone being comfortable with that kind of deter you from moving forward. That's a challenge that you're going to face, is the norm. And so I want you guys to be encouraged to continue pushing forward in spite of that. When I first came to Anguilla, so our agency, as I shared, is a digital marketing agency. And so I was fresh out of school and all I had was an iPad. I couldn't afford a computer and I had no money and I could not afford a bill phone, right? So I had a top-up phone and an iPad, and I was going around telling people, like, look, you need to work on your marketing. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. This is how it should look. And I remember people looking at me like, you 24, like, no, like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't know anything about this. Like, I hear you talking about the internet, and I hear you talking about what's going on online and all of this, but, I'm not necessarily, I'm not sold on that. I don't know how real this is. People were comfortable with that, but we continued pushing, and today, Today I call on less clients and more clients call on me because they understand and they respect what it is that we do. And that comes over time. So you have to remain persistent, and people respect persistence. So I'll give you guys that. Okay, so keep shaking things up. All right, next, Master. Oh, nice. Okay, so you're running it now? Good. All right, I won't be rough on you. So people reject what they don't understand. This is a little different to everybody's comfortable with the status quo. You have to understand that sometimes people, they just don't understand. Maybe you have an idea and they don't understand it, but that's okay. Like, what that means is, remember, so as an entrepreneur, I'm the kind of person that believes in accountability and basically doing whatever you can do within yourself to achieve your desired outcome. So if somebody is rejecting what you're saying, and the likelihood is that they don't understand, then what you need to do is find a different way to explain, find a different way to present the information, look at it differently. Don't just say, "Body man, listen to nothing I saying, them don't understand nothing." You can't just say that. You have to say, how is it that I tweak my presentation? How do I tweak how I'm sharing this information? How do I look at this a bit differently and then present it in that way, and perhaps you'll get your desired outcome, right? So if you have your paintball idea, and maybe you told them, why? How did you present your idea when someone said it's no good? You just say you wanted to do paintball, right? And so a way you can do that a bit differently is maybe you can say, whoever you're presenting it to, you say, you know what would be really valuable to Anguilla is having another activity for young people to get involved in that would kind of distract them or take them away from maybe some of the less I don't want to say less productive, but less activities that are not in their best interest, right? So paintball is a great opportunity and idea to do that, and there are other ways for other young people to make money through that, because they can create, maybe I can have a young person could have a restaurant within that. So there are a lot of different ways you can package an idea. But what I'm imploring you guys to do is, if you have an idea and if people don't understand it, or if you're presenting something and people don't understand it, just maybe think about tweaking the way you're presenting. And don't stop explaining. Don't get deterred by the fact that people don't understand. Just figure out, how do I break this down, like explain it to like your 5-year-old niece or nephew, right? Or brother or sister. Okay, next slide. So this one is pretty big, because securing funding isn't easy. And Mr. Hodge shared about the Anguilla Youth Business Foundation through the Get Set program, and the fact that there is the opportunity to get funding through there. Now, me personally, I've never had a loan for a business, and I know that is very difficult. Getting funding for your business and being able to fund all of the, whether it's cameras or computers or the technology, it's really, really expensive to fund your business in a way that is sustainable to help to grow your business, right? So what I'll say is a couple things. One, get creative in how you think about funding, right? So I like to say that when I've been at some very low places. I've been at places where I've had like $0 and 0 cents, where I couldn't eat. Gino's there, he'll tell you, like, we've been at some very bad places where we had to share like a plate of wings. I'm telling you. And that's not easy. But what it does is, when you're in those hard spots, it inspires you to be a bit more creative in getting funding or coming up with solutions. So I would say, connect with the right people. If you're going to get partners, you need to kind of vet them before. So don't just say, just because somebody comes to you and say, listen, I want to put $10,000, $15,000, $100,000 in your business. Don't just say, yeah, come run that money. You need to take some time and think about, do I want a partner? Because of course a partner comes with obligations and responsibilities. If you don't want a partner, or if you don't want to go to the bank, then how is it that you can kind of stagger in terms of growing your business? How do you start and then build and then build and build? And the most important thing I would say with this is that you have to reinvest in your business. So I wear much of the same clothes over and over and over, because I am obsessed with, for me, I would prefer to put money in new computers, new camera equipment, new technology, new everything, than I would to just buy clothes and other. And I like electronics, right? Like I just bought that new Call of Duty, but I have to, it's a trade off, right? I can't just buy leisurely things. You have to reinvest in your business. That's the only way you're going to grow your business. And what I'd implore you guys to do is, before you go out and say, look, I can't do this because I don't have no money to start this business. Don't think of it in such a limiting way. Get creative in terms of how you start. Just start from somewhere and just continue to reinvest, and you'll see it builds up. And that's my story. Like, I've never had a loan, and it just wasn't that. It just didn't work out that way. Yeah. Next, building a team takes time. So I attribute higher character, trained skill. How many of you guys have ever heard that? Higher character, trained skill. Nobody? You've heard that? You heard that, right? Okay, cool. So this one is going to kind of peeve, or, well, not peeve, but it may make your teachers kind of raise their eyebrows, because this is a sixth form class, right? But for me, I don't care how many degrees you have. If you're not a person of good character, if you're not someone that is hardworking, if you're not someone that has integrity, if I can't trust you, I don't care what you have. That's not enough for me to bring you into my organization, right? So the degrees are a bonus. Those are, extra. But it's really about having the character of somebody that you want to work with. And so I'll say this takes a lot of time. And it took us a lot of years to have a team now where I feel like I'm working with people that I want to build with. And when it says higher character, trained skill, what it means is that you need people that are not just looking to just come in and get a job and sit down. You need people that are committed to coming in and growing and working on their personal and professional development. That is huge. If you have the success of our business today is completely based on the fact that everybody that works within our team is obsessed with personal and professional growth. They're not just comfortable saying, look, this is how I was when we started out, this is how I be, this is how I always going to be. You just got to hold that. They are committed to saying, look, Every day I want to get better. I want to do more. I need to look back on last year, and I tell them all the time, if you are in the same place right now that you were last year in terms of your skills, then something is wrong. It can't ever be that. You have to consistently be working, pushing. And so when you're looking to think about hiring people, when you guys get to that place, you want to hire people who, and you can tell, because everybody talk a good game until it's time to do the work, right? But once people get in that setting, you're going to really see it take you like a month or two to realize this wasn't just, they say they want to do all of this, but they're not serious about personal and professional growth. They're not serious about building up themselves. They just said that, but I don't see it happening. Okay, next. Good. So I'll say this, that staying motivated is mentally and emotionally exhausting. And I spoke to a fifth form class where I spoke about mental health and the importance of mental health. Who was in that fifth form class when I spoke? No? This is all sixth form? But staying motivated is really exhausting. And a lot of people talk about, everybody sees the glitzy side of entrepreneurship, and most people don't know or don't really talk about the battles that you face as an entrepreneur and the psychological trauma that is involved in owning your own business, and the anxiety, it is crippling anxiety, and the fear that you have to overcome on a regular basis, and that is really exhausting. And so when you know that you're going through all of this on an ongoing basis, what is really important is that you surround yourself with people that are positive and that are progressive. You cannot be going through all of that stress, running your business, and then dealing with people that are just negative and talking nonsense and just like, boy, God, everything's so bad. Like, dude, like, I don't need to hear that right now. Like, I need energy, right? And so it's very important that you surround yourself with people who have energy, that is progressive, that is forward thinking. And if it is that you do feel like, look, I need some help and I need some support, that's okay as well. I am very transparent about the fact that I am an advocate for mental health, and I have a therapist. I have someone that I talk to, because if I had to deal with all of this as an entrepreneur, I'll probably go insane. It's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of stress. And so to have someone that you can talk to, someone, and I don't think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. Going to therapy is not about being crazy. It's about saying, look, I cannot handle all of this on my own, and I need an outlet. And so when you get to a certain point in your entrepreneurship journey, I want you guys to be comfortable. If it is you guys are serious about being entrepreneurs, I want you guys to be comfortable about asking and seeking that help, because a lot of entrepreneurs take a different route, and you see that on the news. A lot of entrepreneurs take a different route because it is a taxing job, and there are a lot of benefits, of course. There's a lot of freedom with it, but there's also a lot of bondage isn't the word, but I want to say there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety, and there's a lot of emotional turmoil associated with being an entrepreneur. And so it's really, really, really important that you guys find like minds, find people that you can connect with, that you can talk to, that you can be around, and who will propel you forward. And the last one, I think everybody experienced this, even though y'all are in school. Bad mind in small communities is pervasive. How many people in here know somebody that bad minded? Everybody, hands up. 2 hands for me. They're like, he's shaking his head. He like, boy, these people, they're bad, right? A lot of them bad. but when you're in a community as small as Anguilla, and so this is what I want you guys. Thank you so much. This is what I want you guys to get. Like. And I had to get to this place. And one of my, someone that I really look up to, and I would say my mentors, I was in a really low place because, there was a time when I was, and I still experience the attacks, but there was a time when they were coming hot and heavy, and I was a lot younger. And I'll say I was just, Gino could tell you, man, I was like, what do I have to do? I'm crying and I'm going through all of this. And the person said, Tahirah, this kind of stuff has to be like water off your back. If you are going to be successful, if you want to be somebody that is doing a lot, you have to understand this is just a part of the game. This is a part of it. People are going to always come at you when they feel like you're doing more. And especially in a small community like Anguilla, where everybody knows everybody, it's just easier for people to project that dislike, that hatred, whatever it is. And so it's really important that you guys understand that and that you don't take it personal. So when I see bad mind nowadays, I don't even take it personal. Like I look at this fool, but but I don't. But you know, I'm not gonna lose sleep over that, right? Because you understand that it's a small community and that this is just what happens. Yeah. So what you gonna say the next time you see a bad minded person come at you? You ignore them. Like, I gotta pray for you. That's what you say. I'll pray for you. I'm gonna pray for you, right? So stay focused. Bad mind is gonna come. People are gonna try and knock you down. People are gonna try and hit you. And I tell my team all the time, the more successful you become and the more wins you get, the more people are gonna try to gun for you. And most people aren't ready for that. The more successful you get, the more you do, the more people will come for you. And you just have to be prepared for that. And you have to be okay with that. The final thing I'll just say is that regardless of all of these challenges, our region. Oh, next slide, please, Neil. See, Neil is back. I didn't know the slides aren't turning. So the last thing I'll say is that our region needs more leaders to create the future. And so in spite of all the challenges that you're going to face, it's important that you guys push forward. It's important that you guys dive head on or head first, whatever the expression is, into entrepreneurship, because to create the future that we need, that's not going to be created just being comfortable. We have to be radically uncomfortable. When you start that paintball business, you just send me a message. Well, I'll find it anyway. I'll be there. You understand? Like, people, we need what you guys have. And regardless of how many people may try to bad talk you, regardless of how many people might say it's not the stat, it's not what we're accustomed to, regardless of how much money you don't have, regardless of how mentally and emotionally exhausting it is, you have to keep moving forward because the region needs more leaders to create our future. So that's it, guys. Thank you. Oh, any questions? Sorry. Yeah. Okay, questions after. Cool. Thanks.
Thank you very much.